It's the start of a new reading vlog slash week of my life, and here I am after work doing my nightly depression walk outside by myself on these streets and praying that no animal attacks me or anybody attacks me and people still have their Christmas lights on. One of the main reasons why I never made an appearance in this reading vlog yet is because I have this giant ass planet right underneath my lip, and it is a pimple. It isn't anything that you guys think it is, and it's just because it's that time of the month. But anyways, today is going to be the start of a reading vlog. I already started reading. It's already Tuesday. There's already been a lot read. There's a lot of things that I need to update you guys on. But right now, it is 10 o'clock p.m. I'm going into the office tomorrow, and I plan to go into the office tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday. I'm supposed to go only 2 days a week, but I needed to go downtown on Friday anyways, and I figured working from the office is more convenient than traveling back downtown after work. So yeah, anyways, so now I need to pick an outfit for going back to the office, and I'm gonna go look into my closet. So this is what we're working with. Fun fact was that when I was in some of the Zoom calls with my clients, my Zoom background didn't work and my closet door was open, and they just saw a disorganized mess. It was not great. Good thing my manager wasn't on the call, so he didn't see that I was so unprofessional. But anyways, so it is January, like it is around the whole world, and it's going to be a little bit chilly in the office. I already know it. It's a little bit brisk today, so I think I'm going to look for something comfortable and cozy to wear while also it being cute. I tend not to like really bright colors in the office unless it's a special occasion and I want to draw some attention to myself. I'm going to lean away from the reds maybe, and then I'm going to go for something more neutral. Still don't know what I'm looking at right now. I want something that is fitting, but I also want something that is loose enough for me to feel comfortable in for a whole work day. All right, so this is the outfit. It's just going to be a crew neck sweater, I guess is what you call it, with a chain, so it looks like fancy and professional. It's from H&M. And they make these sweaters every season. Go get it because they are so business casual and they're so comfortable to wear. And then I just have a pair of regular black dress pants that I find very comfortable. They're loose. They have this little fun belt thing that nobody gets to see because my sweater always covers it. And then I think I did like a weekly vlog before already where I kind of went through my bag. So this is my work purse, and I like wearing purses instead of backpacks because I don't know, backpacks are just awkward sometimes for me. So I have a sketchbook. It's not a sketchbook. It's used as a notebook. I have a mouse pad because my office doesn't provide nice mouse pads. And then I have my work laptop. I have a little pamphlet in here. And if I could just show you, it is the driver's handbook, study guide, knowledge and road test for Ontario, because your girl does not have a driver's license yet. She's 27, but she doesn't know how to drive. Do not judge. I have a glasses case without the glasses. Don't know where they are. would love to know where they are because I do need them to see. So if anybody know where the whereabouts are of these glasses, please let me know. And then I have my mouse in there. I have some charging cables. I have aspirin because your girl gets little headaches. I got a little pouch here filled with, stuff. And got some gum because I need some fresh breath when I'm talking to people in the office. And that is the bag. This bag, I got it from Amazon. It served me well and it still serves me pretty well, but I can already imagine myself replacing it within next year because it's just, you just keep beating it up and it's just going to look more and more deformed. We do not have good angles in this vlog, but it is my attempt at making reading vlogs a little bit more interesting with certain different angles, with more casualness, so you guys can relate to me more. But essentially right now I'm on my floor. I'm gonna do my skincare routine because my skin is super dry. It's dry because it's the winter time. It's because I used retinol recently. It's because of a lot of things. I do not take care of my skin as well as I used to, which sucks, but I got a hormonal pimple to prove it. So I have my case of skincare products right here, right beside me. I guess I should show you the bin of disgrace where I just have all my products right next to me. I have my laptop right here so that we can kind of go through all the books I have read so far that I haven't updated you guys on. Am I a professional reading vlog person? No. If you're new to this video, hello, welcome, stay for the chaos. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it so far. So to kind of start off, so basically I did a lot of thinking, and I think a lot. I overthink a lot too, a lot of the times. And basically what I thought about was that, my channel. I know. Everybody's like, no, Lisa, we want you to talk about books. Why are you talking about your channel? And the reason why I talk about my channel is because there's a lot of things on my mind. I want to get it off my chest. I want to vent to you guys a little bit. I want to tell you guys what my thoughts and feelings are when I'm making these videos, just so you guys can see a different perspective and just so you don't think of me as like this content generation machine, just so you understand who the person is behind the scenes when you're watching my videos. And hopefully, a lot of people already kind of know what kind of person I am and I don't have to go too deep into it. But essentially, a lot of the things I've been thinking about recently is the fact that my viewership has dropped down significantly since a year over year. So lots of my videos do not hit the 1,000 view page. Lots of people with less subscribers than me have more views than me. Lots of people who had less subscribers than me has shot up recently in popularity, whether through organic growth or through shout outs from more popular users. And it stinks a lot of the times when you look at the numbers a lot and you try to question yourself, like, what you could be doing better, what you could be reading to make more people interested. And it's a lot of thinking and overthinking on my part. I think like in the year 2023, I kind of had this epiphany, or I'm starting to have an epiphany, where I'm going to try to switch up my videos and try to make it as more engaging, as more entertaining as possible, because I know that you guys are bored with my sit down videos where I'm just like sitting down and I'm bashing some books, or I'm just sitting down and I'm just talking about books and it's not really changing up the camera angles. I'm not being very creative with the content that I'm making, and I want to be more creative because, to be honest, I'm finding this kind of like a drag when I'm just like filming videos, editing content, uploading content just to keep this page alive. I'd rather be spending time on things that I'm proud of that get less views than making content just to make content just so I can get views and get subscribers, because that has a hollow feeling to it. I just want to make things that I'm interested in and that I have fun and that I'm proud of at the end of the day. And if I get viewers or subscribers after that, because of that, then it'll be good for both of us. So anyways, so I have a lot of things I have to update you on in terms of what I'm reading this week. And I did a piss poor job at talking to you guys about the books I was reading, but I was taking a look at, what the popular romance booktubers are reading nowadays. And they read a lot of indie romance. And if you are new here or if you've been here for a long time, you guys will know that I don't really read indie romance. I read mostly historical romance, even though right now I'm reading very little of that. and I read traditionally published romance. It's the thing that I like the most. I like traditionally published romance because it's very accessible to me, it's cheaper, and it's just quality that I like. I like the writing of it. I know a lot of people hate contemporary romances written in the traditional third person format, but it's just my preference sometimes. And I like supporting these authors because sometimes I feel like that these authors don't get the marketing that everybody thinks that they get. So, yeah. Anyways, but I do like indie romances too because I've recently discovered a genre of indie romances that I really enjoy, and that's romantic comedy indie romances. I talked a lot about it in some of my previous videos I uploaded in December, and if you guys haven't watched it yet, I definitely recommend you to watch it because I found a lot of books that I really liked from these indie published authors that I've never heard of before, and they are on my radar. I want to continue reading them in the near future. Okay, so what I just put on my skin was I started off with toner. The toner that I use is Misha Time Revolution. It's a Korean skincare brand. And then I put on Emotion Moisture. I find that when I put this one on from its skin, my skin gets really bouncy afterwards, and I think it's thanks to this. But anyways, moving on back to the books. And so it's like a toss up, right? Like I'm debating whether or not what I should read because I know that my audience and I know that the booktube audience likes to read indie romances now. We shifted gears. It's fine. It's understandable. But also at the same time, am I a mood reader, a person who knows what I like, a person who just am interested in the things that I like because that's just how human nature works? Am I going to shift my whole reading preference to indie romances featuring dark romances, featuring topics that I don't really enjoy, featuring, all these other elements in these stories that I know I won't like, and I know that it's going to be something that's going to cause me, it's going to be a major gripe, it's going to be something that's going to make me hate the book or lower the rating and be just giving like a very polarizing review, or a review where it's the opposite of everybody's thoughts. Am I going to do that? And I don't want to because I feel like that's selling out. I have to grab like the cream off my desk because I put it on my desk. And I feel like that's selling out, Like I feel like it's selling out by reading books that other people are reading just so that I can get views. I want to read books because I naturally found it or I'm actually interested in it, and then I'm talk about these books because I actually like them. I don't want to read books that are popular now, forcing myself to read the books that are popular now just so that I can get views. And I'm not accusing anybody who's doing that. I don't think people are doing that. I think people are just reading books that they enjoy. And unfortunately for me, a lot of the people that I watch like the same books, and it makes me feel like I should read those books too as well. All right, so the next set that I'm going to put on is Goodness Gracious. Hyaluronic acid. Jesus. So this is from The Ordinary, and honestly, it always freaking like seals shut. And I think that's my fault. Anyway, so I just dabble this in just to make sure that everything else I'm putting on gets absorbed. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to continue reading what I want to read, and what I read are just like very obscure titles that nobody has heard of before, which is fine for me, but I know it gets a little bit frustrating, it gets a little bit boring when you guys are watching videos of books that you've never heard of before, and then maybe like you guys never want to put it on your TBR. But regardless, this is a really random reading vlog where I'm going to be talking about really random titles that I found that I was actually interested in. So the first book that I want to talk about is this one called The Games We Play by Melissa Toppin, and this is like a young adult college bully romance, and it involves essentially our two characters whose families are very close friends, and they grew up together, and they pretend to be friends in front of their parents, but in reality our hero bullies our heroine for a reason. And the reason why is because he is in love with her and he knows that he can't have her, so he tries to push her away by bullying her and making her life miserable, but also keeping all the guys that are interested in her away from her too as well, so that now she can't date anybody, and she doesn't understand like why is he always so mean and so cruel to her all the time. I'm looking for my next step. Anyways, so it's like very like cute and angsty in a certain way because like you just know that he's just being really silly and she's just very oblivious all the time, especially since like everybody's telling her that like, hey, I think he likes you. This is what people do when they're young and they like you. They try to like get your attention and things get a little bit messy because in reality he is dealing with a mental health issue that is very severe that he needs medication for, and it really impacts his day-to-day interactions with people. It impacts with his relationships with people. He was not a stable person to be with, and that he could potentially ruin the relationship between these two families. Anyways, it was messed up. It was very cruel a lot of the times, but the one thing that I didn't like at all was the fact that our heroine ended up being the major bully, and not really like persistent bullying, but more like very careless with her words, and ended up cutting our hero to the core and making him so upset that he did not take medication, and he ended up having like the spell and he needed to be hospitalized. And our hero ended up forgiving her, and our hero ended up apologizing to her, which made no sense to me. And I got so mad because I felt like she should have groveled because she made his life a living hell. Anyways, so that, with that being said, this book, it was really just sitting at like a 3 out of 5 stars. But because of the ending and everything, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5 stars. And it was just not my favorite, but you got to do what you got to do. And I read this on Sunday, and it was like, obviously the night before going back to work, and I was like very stressed out after reading this. Anyways, the product that I'm using right now is this one called Fresh Rose Deep Hydration Face Cream. I literally bought this only because my sisters told me that it was like a really great cream for the winter time, and I never used it until now. So yay, and I think it is pretty good at hydrating my face. The one thing I don't like about Fresh is that A, it's super expensive, and B, they have this Fresh like facial soy cleanser that broke me up. So I just didn't like that product and it scared me. Anyways, moving on to random books I have read while I try to put on a sheet mask. This is from Nature Republic. It's the Real Nature Mask Sheet. It's rose. It smells delightful. But random books that I've read this week include books from Entangled Romance. And I don't know if you guys know Entangled Romance, but they mass produce ebooks. They're like basically the Harlequin of ebooks, and they publish like so many ebooks every single month, and they're really cheap on Amazon. You could get them for under $3, or you could get it on their website. Sometimes they're 99 cents. You can also get it at your library for free if you choose to do so. And they're always like short novels that are like maybe around 200 something pages or under 200 pages. I need to take a break because I need to put this mask on. But they're just like really short, condensed novels that are really entertaining and really fun. And I used to be obsessed with these books, just like I was obsessed with Harlequin novels. And I just took a break and I never went back to it. But I decided to pick some back up because the books look so cute based on the cover and everything, even though these covers are the most atrocious covers that you'll ever see. But the first book I read was 5 Things I Love About You by Sarah Balance. And this book is essentially about our heroine who needs to house sit for her brother, and she's like from this small little town and she does not like New York City. This whole series features like all the brothers and how they all live in New York City. And these girls either used to live in New York City or they lived in New York City before they didn't like it or whatever. But our heroine in this book hates New York City. She wants to leave. She wants to go back home. And what happens is that she is house sitting and her AC breaks down and she needs somebody to come and fix the AC. And that just so happens to be our hero, because our hero is actually a handyman. Our hero comes from a family that owns like this like handyman business shop, whatever, and they all work together to repair things in New York City and do carpentry work and whatever, etc., etc. And our hero challenges her and basically says, I can convince you to love New York City with these 5 dates. And then essentially he continues to pull her out of her shell, and then she falls in love with the city. But what do you know, she also falls in love with him as well. So that was a 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. I liked how our heroine actually just did not care for his like playboy lifestyle and his flirtatious ways, and she made it like so much harder for him to kind of seduce her, which was really entertaining to watch. for 7 nights only, which is the second book. So essentially this is the fake dating, or this is like the teaching you how to date trope, and then afterwards she ends up really liking him, and then obviously he ends up really liking her, but he is too stubborn to admit his emotions for her because he is a playboy. He thinks that he can live single, he can be single for the rest of his life, you know, the whole spiel. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars too as well. I really enjoyed it, and it was really fun. So I didn't have book number 3, but I had book number 4. So I read book number 4 instead, which is the 48-hour hookup. Now this one was very promising. It started off very promising. So basically these two characters were in traveling in this like small town city-ish area, rural area with like lots of forestry, lots of snow. It's near the Christmas time. It's very on brand with January, and our heroine ends up cutting a tree, and the tree branch actually falls on our hero's car, effectively stopping him from ever leaving the rural area. And then they have to like live together in a cottage slash cabin because they're snowed in, and then they have to just be amicable with each other, with dealing with all like the small town like characters too as well. And it just was disappointing. It just didn't really hit the mark as book number 1 and book number 2. I grew bored with it, and I was just kind of waiting for the book to end. I didn't have like that emotional and like connection that I felt with the hero and heroine like I did with book number 1, book number 2. So I was just kind of disappointed. But anyways, right now I'm reading book number 3, and I have hopes for it because this one follows our character, our hero, who had a fiance before that died of cancer. So I know it's going to be emotional. So hopefully I don't cry. But with that being said, I am now done my skincare routine. I basically just put everything on my face, and then I put a face mask on, hoping to God that this will stop me from peeling everywhere. I didn't film much the next day, but basically I went to dinner after work with my friend, and I treated her to an amazing Mediterranean birthday dinner. It was super expensive, but so good.
Maybe that's it.
Or maybe my lesson is that guys will walk all over you as long as you let them. Yeah.
What is this?
What is this? What?
Cynical neurologist, and he looked permanently changed by the end of it.